Hey guys, it's been a while since I filmed, but we're ready to start welding today, which is really exciting. As you can see, my car's kind of a mess right now. In the time I wasn't filming, Gingium was working on painting his car, so my car kind of got turned into a workbench. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time cleaning that up, and then we'll get to the fun stuff. So I cleaned up here and put her back on the jack stands. I also picked up some metal from Mike across the road from us. So now we have some scraps I can sort of practice welding on. So I was talking to Mike. He said to just start with a weld right down the middle here, and then try to weld this into this little divot here. And that'll be a really good sort of starting area, good sort of starting weld just to get my bearings with it. So I'm gonna clean these up and we'll get to welding. Now I'm gonna clean them off with some brake cleaner so we know they're super clean, and then we can get to welding. So I've been practicing a little bit, and these actually don't look too bad for my first time ever welding. Obviously we have a lot of this slag, and that's just how flux core welding can be. The flux acts as a shield rather than the shielding gas, and it's not terribly good at its job, so you get a lot of this little splatter. But apart from that, these welds themselves aren't that awful. And I did one down here just to see how the welding penetration would be, and I think it looks pretty good, if you can see in there, maybe not. But I'm gonna keep practicing, and I'll tell you guys how it goes. So practicing actually went pretty well. I had Mike come over to show me the proper technique for doing some of this, so you can see his welds here are a lot better. Those are my original welds when I first tried to do it. And then over here are some of his welds. Again, much cleaner than mine, but this one's mine here. It's not wanting to focus too well, but this one's mine. You can see there and there where I didn't do too good of a job, but compared to before, it's so much better. So now I'm going to play around with the wire speed and stuff like that along here, and then I'm going to try to practice welding some of this stuff together. It's good. It's good. Can I give it a swing? Sure. I'd made a pickaxe. It actually broke part of the concrete out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy, too. Hurts your hands.
Yeah, right.
Good enough.
Good enough. Thank you. Okay, as a final test to myself, I'm just going to try to weld these two together. You can see there's already a circular cutout here. I'm just going to stick that in there, add a few tacks, and try to weld it all together. Not too bad if I do say so myself. The welds are pretty messy, but I think they're pretty solid. As soon as it cools off, we can go outside and do the stress test again. Seems pretty solid. And the time has finally come. I'm feeling reasonably confident in my welding skills, so we're going to start working on the actual pieces we're going to need for the front of the car. I'm going to just start by cutting up some stuff tonight and maybe welding the main square of the frame together. I might end up doing a little bit more, we'll just kind of see how it goes. Okay, new day. The other night I was test fitting some stuff and I realized that I forgot to account for the bend in the frame rail in my measurements for like how I was gonna build the frame and everything. So you can kind of see there, it's very bent up there, so this is actually about 2 inches closer to this one than it should be. This one's actually pretty straight, so it shouldn't make a big difference. But now I'm going to bore this hole out here so I can slip this chain through it. And what we're going to do with that is hook it up to Red Mist's battle van and just sort of tug this frame rail back into place. Sweet, so we got that bored out and we got the chain through there pretty well. Now we just have to tie her up to the battle van and give her a few tugs. That wasn't nearly as violent as I expected it to be, so I'm just gonna take a few measurements, and if everything lines up, we're done. If not, we could do another tug. So yesterday we straightened out the frame, and today we can finally get to actually welding some stuff onto the car. Let me show you really quick what the plan's gonna be. I have 2 of these tubes that are 4 feet long, and then I have 2 that are 1.5 feet that are gonna be the main bit of the front bumper. So I'm going to weld this one here. I have to cut a little bit off of here. You can see there's still a bit of metal there. And then I'm going to have these bits come down here and weld the bottom 4-foot section onto the bottom of those. Then I'm going to have a 3-foot section go from here all across to here. Then I'm going to have some reinforcements up and down. Once I have that done, I'm going to have more frame come off, maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet from the front here, that I can sort of seal off and fill with foam, and that will offset the weight of the engine up front. I also have to weld up some stuff around here, some brackets for the radiator. Once I have that done, I'm going to come in and weld some bigger square tubes all along the bottom of the Mi-Yacht-A so I can actually slip some pontoons in, kind of like they have those stands in racing and rally, just basically like these jack stands here. I'm gonna build something like that I can slide pontoons into, so I can remove them so it's not gonna make the Mi-Yacht-A like 4 feet wider. Finally, we'll move on to the back. I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing with the back yet. I'm probably gonna weld some sort of supports around this area so I can bolt an outboard motor kind of right where the license plate is, but we'll kind of figure that out as we go along. Okay, both sides are pretty much ready to be welded up to. There's a little bit of paint left here and there that I'll try to get off with sandpaper or something, and then I just have to completely do down here. Once that's done though, we can actually get to welding, and I'll catch back up with you then. Okay, so everything is shiny and nice now. All we have to do is tack on some of the bars and get to welding. Okay, so this is all welded in. The welds aren't the prettiest, but it is definitely strong enough for me to stand on. Today I'm going to work on the rest of the frame, and I'm just going to kind of focus more on working on it than filming. I'm going to try to film everything, but I'm not going to explain it all until really the end. I'm just going to try to really work and get it all done. So I'll talk to you in a little bit. The other night when I was here, I sort of just welded these on. I tacked them first and just welded the rest, and I realize now that was kind of a mistake. As you can see here, I think welding that sort of put this off center. So I'm gonna grind these welds off and finish the rest of the frame before I weld the whole thing on. Okay, I'm gonna weld the rest of this up really quick and I'll show you when it's done. Okay, so I did quite a bit more work the other night, but my camera was dead, so I'll just give you a quick summary basically of what I did. I just got the front bumper part on the car just now. Mike let me use a bunch of his tools, so huge thank you to him. But basically what I did was I welded this beam onto the front bar here and down here. It took quite a bit of grinding to match everything up, but I got it fitting snugly and it worked out really well. So that's basically it. As you can see, like I said, I just welded this on, so you have a bunch of the flux stuff all around the welds, but Mike actually let me use his welder, and the welds from an actual welder are so much cleaner. It's so nice. And going back to my little flux core, let's just say I'm not a huge fan of the flux core anymore. Now that that's at least on, I'm gonna call it an end to this video. Thanks for watching. If you want, please consider liking or subscribing or going in the comment section letting me know what you think of this video. In the next Mi-Yacht-A video, I'm gonna weld up some more supports for this, some cross bracing in here so the foam doesn't just shoot out right when we hit the water. We might get some of the pontoon stuff done back here, and I'll talk a little bit more about my plans for it over the winter and everything. But check out the next video, it's gonna be sweet. I'm revealing a new winter project and I'm really excited about it, so stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.